Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
Moama Bowling Club, the region's premier entertainment venue.
Final day session incoming here at BPL19. Val Febo here with you for round 11 action between the Moreton Bay Pirates and the Perth Suns. Joining me in commentary for her final match of Rinkside Live at BPL19 is the one and only Sophie Kersman. Sophie, you're ditching us after this.
I'm so sorry. I have to go study. Tomorrow I won't even be here half the day because I've got my exam and it's right smack bang in the middle of the day.
Fair enough. All online?
Yes, it is. Thank goodness.
Can you cheat?
I wouldn't say cheap. We're allowed to have our notes on board for reference.
The old open book exam.
Open book exam.
I reckon through 3 years of uni, I had one exam that wasn't open book. I bet I might have had 3 exams overall because when you do journalism, you don't need it too much.
That's true. I've never done an exam that's closed book or in person, so
it's wonderful.
It's one of the benefits of COVID.
certainly is. Now we've got Blake Nan, Carl Healy, and Christina Christic, and their coach Bill Brandsma up against the top of the table. Alex Marshall, Dawn Heyman, and Ryan Burnett with their coach Ellen Faulkner, all looking very jovial and very happy. Couple of hugs going around. Absolutely fantastic. And this match really important for both teams for different reasons, because the Pirates, they want to entrench themselves on top of the table heading into the night session to ensure that they could finish the day on top and with 8 wins, meaning they'd only probably need 2 more to go or to ensure a spot in the finals. But Perth, they are sitting second bottom, 4 wins. They're only a win off third, which is quite remarkable. So they are close. They're not far behind. If they can notch up a win here, they'll be looking very, very handy heading into the back end of this tournament. So a lot on the line for both, Sophie.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be a good matchup. And as I said earlier, the Perth Suns have had their fair share of, close games and a few just losing on a couple of last bowls and things like that. But I did say they've had a few good wins over a few good teams. So I think this might not be as one-sided as we think it could be.
Certainly not. That is what is so beautiful about the Bowls Premier League. Perth Suns, Blake Nan to get us underway. He'll lead for Carl Healy. And Ryan Burnett to lead for Alex Marshall. Second time that we get to see the Pirates today. Steve Fuller watching on. Go the GOAT and the Pirates.
Pretty good correction here from Ryan. Just needs to run a little bit further. Still a pretty open head at the beginning of this game.
Ryan working wonders at Pine Rivers, part of their championship winning side. I think it was pennant at the end of last year. I think Brendan Wilson bowls up there at Pine Rivers as well. They've got a lot of good players. One of the big clubs in Brisbane's north, the spiritual home of the Bowls Premier League. The first few events were hosted and still hosted today. Blake Nan's wife, Kelly, watching on. Go the Sunnies. Another break from work, lunch break, Kelly.
Yeah. I was just talking to Blake at lunch and saying how she's been on every live stream. And she said, yep. He's like, yep, she's really good with that. She likes the early ones because she can watch them at work.
Hope we're not selling her short here that she does watch at work, but we'll keep that between us. Carl Healy for his first of the contest. It's not a bad effort.
No, and looking across the green, we have got a few pretty good lineups. We've got Tweedhead Ospreys and the Tassie Tridents next door. Further on from that, we've got the Melbourne Pulse and the Moama Steamers, which will be a really good top-of-the-table sort of clash in the top 5. Melbourne Extreme and the Sydney Lions, a big one for the Melbourne Extreme over there to get the win. And over on the TV rink, we have got Adelaide Pioneers and Gold Coast Hawks.
Yes, we do. A lot of ramifications for the losers, but it's not over yet.
Wait here from Carl.
Cleared a few out, but opened things up. Kelly says that not on break, just don't tell her boss. Okay. Well, you've gone on record there, Kelly, so if he or she's watching, oh boy. Just keep the headphones in and don't make it obvious. But you're right, Sophie, there's plenty going on here. In the final match of the afternoon session, we've got the evening coming at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. That's going to be Hawks, Ospreys, Lions, Pulse, Tridents, Extreme, Pirates, Steamers, and Suns, Pioneers.
Ooh.
Little result there.
Yeah, little double ricochet for one.
So, final bowl of the end coming for Alex Marshall, who dazzled us on this very rink before. They lost to the Melbourne Pulse. Dawn Heyman desperately unlucky in that tiebreak. A double kiss on the jack. Spilled it out after she tried to drive it into the ditch. Alex Marshall, this is going to... Oh, it was very close. Had it got around that front, that'll be one to the Perth Suns to commence proceedings here. Perth haven't made the finals at a Bowls Premier League, Sophie, for 3 years.
Wow.
2021 at BPL12 was the last time. That was a COVID-stricken tournament for them because they ended up using Josh Thornton as their coach, Ray Pearce, Lee Schreiner, and Jen Delves.
Yeah, okay.
That was their lineup. Came in 4th, losing to the Tweedheads Ospreys in the first final. That went to a tiebreak. Perth are one of the only franchises not to win a final, and they've been there since day dot. So they'll be really looking for some history.
Great response from Blake there. Pretty good set there from Blake Mann.
Now time for Ryan Burnett to put in his final bowl. That is special. Ryan Burnett, be very happy with that. The man affectionately known as Burno. Has coached a fair few BPLs, but never played one, so this is his first time. Kevin Anderson, I know his profile picture on Facebook was him holding
about to bring that up.
Holding up a sign, those who can't play coach, and it had Ryan Burnett's face on it. And he scribbled it out and said, those who can't coach, play. I've never seen a man so happy as what Kevin Anderson
he
was
loved
that
it.
night holding up that sign.
Absolutely loved it, that man. What has Carl got for us? He's in the area. Just needs to get under. What an effort. Taddy's going to play down on his forehand. Just going to miss wide. What's he done? What a shot. One, maybe two.
Brilliantly done. Carl Healy's having such a wonderful impact on this Perth Suns team. It's funny, the Moreton Bay Pirates, looking at some of the stats that Clive Adams sends through, they're sitting in the top 5 in almost every category, apart from ends played or ends won when playing first. They're sitting in 7th, so that's really the only part of their game that they're sort of losing out on so far.
Carl swapping hands, trying to sit that bowl of Ryan's through. If he holds, he's close. Just found the gap. What an effort.
Alex Marshall.
Just going to duck under. Oh, he's fallen back
But
though.
he has fallen back. What's this given him? Has it given the shot?
One to Perth.
Still 1 to the Suns, so they'll take it. That's a 2-0 lead. Ellen Faulkner keeps her power play by her side. Jesse Nerona watching on. Carl can play. He sure can. Really good to see Carl playing the BPL. He was here last year for work. Watching on. Blake Nan doing very nicely.
Great effort, opens up that jack again.
So Fleur asking what Tasmania's record is in the BPL. Of course, you can go and check all that out yourself. If you go to bowls.com.au/BPL or go to national events in the Bowls Premier League, you can go and have a look at some of the BPL records. And I'll have a look for you at Tasmania's record.
Ryan Burnett just not quite getting enough of that bowl.
Unlock has already posted it
There you
there.
go.
My internet's going quite slowly this morning, or this afternoon. So there we go. I've got it as well. But you can have a look at all the teams, what they've done. Overall, their win-loss 35-57 from, well, that was before the tournament. That has changed. So Carl currently holding a couple.
Carl running up to this one. Is he going to get there? Not quite.
Just was trying to urge that on. Still two. Alex Marshall. Two left in the tank for him.
Bigger weight.
Got them both.
Is it enough for one?
Yes, it is. But plenty of room for Carl Healy to work with. So how can Carl negate Alex Marshall from coming back in? So much room here that you'd back Alex to have an opportunity. He doesn't mind it too much. He needs it to hurry. I reckon it'll get there.
Yeah, he's done enough.
And that is going to do the job. One back for Perth. If Alex Marshall doesn't convert here, I think Alan Faulkner's going to have that power play sign ready to go.
I think Taddy's going to play the same shot. Jack through to the back. They've got 3, 4
There's a
at the back.
smattering of bowls back there. Same weight from Alex Marshall, almost on the shot clock.
Oh.
Drifts past, and that'll be another one, I believe, to the Perth Suns.
One.
Blake Nan confirms that. So, one to Perth. They lead at 3-0. A power play for Moreton Bay, meaning they've got the red jack and the double shot offer now, should they win the end. Really good start from the Perth Suns. They know how important a win here is. Ryan Burnett wanting to make the finals on debut.
Great starter. Blake, touch of the jack, just not quite enough. Two pretty good shots there.
Just been alerted to the fact that I still had yogurt on the moustache there before.
It's all right, I didn't notice.
Thanks for pointing that out, Sophie.
I didn't notice, I would have otherwise.
It's all right, I've got Lockie here. He's always looking after me. So, Kevin asking if both teams can call a power play on the same end. Yes, they can. Has been done a few times already this tournament. Often a detriment of some teams.
Yeah, it can be for sure.
Not having the last bowl. You tend to use it when you do have the final bowl of the end. A 2 to Moreton Bay here. bring you some score updates very shortly from what's happening at the Moama Bowling Club. 6 Shore Street, Moama, if you want to make your way down. The Sydney Lions lead the Melbourne Extremes 6-4. That's after 4 ends in the opening set. The Melbourne Pulse trail the Moama Steamers 5-6. That's after 3 in the first set. The Tridents lead the Ospreys 4-1 after 3. And the Adelaide Pioneers lead the Gold Coast Hawks 4-1 after 3.
5-6 after 3 is quite an interesting score.
It is. A couple of power plays I'd suggest would have been converted there. Or some big scores. What's Alex Marshall done?
Gets to that back orange. He's played it very well. Good enough for another shot.
So that's 3. Carl Healy now with some work to do.
Big weight from Carl. What's he got? Well
Jack,
played.
and it's rebounded through a couple of bowls and pinballed around.
I thought it was a chip in the jack for a second, but
Yeah.
it's just the aero riding. Is it aero? I think
It is aero. The same line every time.
But if you give Taddy a couple of metres, he's just going to do exactly this. Great shot. So the thing is here, you can go the bowl and you, as Blake said, 2 and a measure for second. 2 and a measure for third, I think.
Yep.
It looks like a clear 3.
Yep.
But you then giving Taddy plenty of room to draw, exactly
Yep.
like what he just did. So
And if he does, then that puts the Moreton Bay Pirates in front. However, power play for the Perth Suns will be incoming.
yes, so Taddy definitely won here, which turns to 2. And by the looks of this, it's going to be 2 into 4.
He doesn't need a kinder invitation than that, Alex Marshall. The Moreton Bay Pirates parochial fans, they're here, they're supporting. Steve Ratcliffe is here from Club Pine Rivers. And he's bought an army.
Great starter.
Yep, Steve Fuller saying draw for dough, drive for show. And it isn't a common adage, but these guys can drive and draw equally as well. So my drive, however, nowhere near it.
I'm working on mine, but I think my full speed would probably be a quarter of the speed of Matt Flapper's full. So definitely something I'm working on.
You should get the speed gun out for that.
That'd be a very interesting experiment. I'd love to know who has the quickest drive. I mean, I'd back
it's
Matt,
Bester.
but yes, Bester. Even Matt's brother Anthony has a really big drive, so
Yes, true.
great shot from Blake.
Marker realised all the way here from Tasmania.
Yeah. Placement there for the Pirates.
And a big thank you to all of our markers and everything this week as well. They've been wonderful.
Has been awesome. They've been great.
So what has Blake Nan got?
I think he's trying to get the tee.
I think he's done exactly that.
Done a
Carl
great job.
Healy gives him a crisp high five. Of course, it is a Perth power play in the final end of the set. Alana Flapper saying, not wrong there, Soph. How are you all?
Doing well, Lance. How are you going?
Dare say a relation to Maddie Flapper.
Yes, that's Anthony's daughter. So Matt's niece. Great shot. Straight to the Pirates bowl out the back.
He's pulling out all the stops today. Carl Healy
Great shot. One back to Perth.
has done enough, and this is, of course, a matchup that we saw in a World Championships final last year in the triples. These two both skipping their respective nations in Australia and Scotland. That also meet in the fours final.
Has he done it? Oh,
Not sure he rolled it up enough. Still one to Perth. A single for the Suns will achieve them their goal of winning the set. Of course, anything they score doubles to 2. This one needs to get down. It's out of bounds in the end. So, after this one, it's just Carl Healy's left this set. Alex Marshall
what's he done?
knocks his own away. So, an invitation for Carl Healy. They've won the set, but maybe just to rub salt into the wounds. And add in a second, double it to 4. And I think he
There's
has
that line.
obliged.
Needs to go more. Ooh.
I thought he had more legs on it. We're going to
Yeah.
measure. I've given it the early crow. I tend to try not to do this, so hopefully I'm right.
It's an interesting look.
It is
Just
2.
in.
All right. Thank heavens I went the early
Yes.
crow and was right. 2. Double that to 4, and that is an 8-4 win. Oh, sorry, a 7-4 win to the opening set. Or to the Perth Suns, sorry, in the opening set. Got things going on around us here. So the Perth Suns have the ascendancy. And around at the rinks here. The Extreme and Trident's still in that opening set. I reckon we might have had a killed end there. Trying to refresh this again and see if I can find out a score as Ryan Burnett goes close. No substitutions as of yet. Yeah, still nothing. Believe it is still 6-5. Second set incoming on the far rink, on the TV rink between the Pioneers and the Gold Coast Hawks. The Pioneers won that first set. That is 8-1. Tasmania Tridents lead the Ospreys 5-1 after 4 in the first set, and after 4 in the opening set between the Pulse and the Steamers, the Pulse lead that 7-6. I believe that set might have just possibly concluded. The Pulse have taken that 9-6.
Blake Nan. Oh. Found the gap, but good weight to stay on.
So, good home there for Ryan Burnett's third. Really good set from him. It's a much needed result for the Perth Suns. They are with 1 foot in the 1 foot with a win. Carl Healy. So I've got people breathing down my neck behind me here. There's a lot going on.
I'm just looking at the sign that says, "Where's Clive?"
Yeah. Unfortunately, Clive did leave Bowls Australia, but we do miss him. I know he's watching on.
Great shot there from Carl.
This is the second time that we are using the Puma kit, Lance. Used it in November. And you can contact your local franchise or the franchise that you want to see if they've got any available.
Another good shot there from Carl. Carl Healy, 3 awesome shots.
He is having some sort of an afternoon. He's been really, really clinical so far. For the Perth Suns, what can Alex Marshall do? He knocks another Perth bowl closer to the count as we have some sort of static come through.
Oh.
I think that was from the smoke machines. It ended up being 1 to the Perth Suns. Not sure what happened over there.
I was just about to say holy smokes, but I was going to be like, that was going to be a really good pun.
It's not bad. You could have used it.
That's what I used in general. Like if I say something like that,
okay.
it's a holy smokes, so I would have been perfectly timed.
Very nice.
Blake Nan off to a great start again.
Ryan Burnett. I think Corey Wedlock has done something very good on the rink next door. The Ospreys have dropped the first set to the Tridents. As
Great shot.
Ryan Burnett
3 touches.
continues his form. He's been right on the money so far. So is Blake Nan. A high quality match. That one just not getting through, so it's up to Ryan Burnett to pop in another. And just sneaking through. A question asking if Carl is from WA. No, he's not. He's from Sydney, plays out of Cabramatta, but you can choose people from wherever you want, really. Doesn't matter if they're from the other corner of the globe.
Yeah, it's a good thing about this competition.
Yep. And that one sneaks through and pushes the jack out. So we draw to a new line. And Alex Marshall does the job.
Down a bit and he's got it.
Just didn't get there, Carl Healy.
Has created a nice sort of target though with Taddy's bowl jack high now. So Jack makes a couple, bowl through makes two.
Can Alex Marshall tuck it away? He's not far away here, Alex
make
Marshall.
It very hard.
Oh, I think that target might still be there,
shot.
but it's fallen down.
Yeah, as Blake said, get the two, you got the next three. Jack in the pit makes three, maybe.
The target's there. Carl Healy.
It's come out narrow. Oh,
it
wow.
has, but...
Oh, wow.
Oh, a little fortunate there. I think that
Once again, you've given Taddy at least a metre to draw.
Well, it's a measure for one now. I dare say Alex Marshall will put in a second, at least, or at most, sorry.
Yeah, that could have been a very unfortunate result for the Pirates there, but...
So, there it is. That'll do for the shot. Toucher, if you don't mind.
Great shot, and he's just touched it the right way for two.
Ryan Burnett says two, and substitute coming on. It's Christina Christic, and it's also Dawn Heyman.
Two of the best.
They are. One's a Com Games gold medalist, one's a world champion. We are spoilt for choice with the quality we have at a BPL. No power play yet, so I reckon whoever loses this end will be calling it for end number 4. Dawn we had on this morning, and she was desperately unlucky with a drive, trying to put the jack in the pit. It went in the pit, but then the bowl hit it again.
Oh, yeah.
And it came back out of the pit, and they lost. It was very unlucky.
Great shot, Dawny. What a way to start.
No warm-up needed. Dawn Heyman. Sensational. Sydney Lions have taken the opening set over the Melbourne Extreme. Extreme not having the greatest of days. They've dropped to 7th on the table. Then the Melbourne Pulse, as we said, took the first over the Steamers, 9-6. It's 1-1 in the second. The Ospreys trail the Tasmania Tridents by a set.
What a way to start, Dawn Heyman.
No, she's on fire. And then the Ospreys lead 1-0 in the second. That's after 1. And then the Pioneers took the first set over the Hawks 8-1. They lead at 1-0 in the second. So plenty still to play out here at the Moama Bowling Club as Chrissy puts in her second. What has she got here? Flops her bowl over.
Sort of made it a little bit more difficult, but she had beautiful weight for it.
Alex Marshall telling us exactly where Dawn needs to bowl. And he hops out of the way for us. Dawn coming around the back. Will it slow down? Yes, it will.
So Carl's called Chrissy to swap hands. Similar sort of weight. Find the gap. Move a couple of bowls. Oh, probably just overplayed it a tiny bit, but she had a really good line for it.
Bit quick, but yeah, the line was right. So Carl Healy trots back to join Alex Marshall at the mat. Perth won the open up. The Pirates leading at 2-1 after securing a double in the previous end.
Great home there from Taddy. Interesting.
He's not far away, is Carl Healy.
Interesting. 1, 2, and 3.
That is brilliantly done from Carl Healy. Still one down. But they've got last bowl, so they'll have an option. Alex Marshall's going to try and obstruct those options. Wants it to come back. The weight was brilliant for what he was trying.
What's he done?
Spills it out. It's a good effort. Still one to Moreton Bay. Now, they don't have the tee.
No.
So, could be a possible option to see a kill maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Alex Marshall gets another one through the gate. So what's Carl Healy doing here? What's he going for, Sophie? What do you reckon?
I don't think... Blake said you can kill. Chrissy said the risk is like slicing the jack out to the right for 3 down. And Carl said they've still got a power play to come. So I think he's still playing to roll his. If he gets the outside edge of his, he's a very...
Oh, not far away.
Probably a safe one to get rid of. So 1 to the Pirates going into the 4th end. And we see Bill call a power play for the Perth Suns.
Substitution here. Alex Marshall coming off, I believe. Yes.
That's new.
Alex Marshall has come off. Ryan Burnett to skip.
And he's actually nowhere to be seen. He's gone.
Not sure where Alex Marshall has ducked off to, but figure that out. Might have been a quick comfort stop. Not too sure.
Oh. No, he's back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
So,
lots just gone on in the last 2 minutes.
Ryan Burnett's got a big smile on his face. So there was no substitution.
I think Elves was
Yeah.
just playing it safe just in
Yeah.
case you have to have someone on the green.
So it's a power play to the Perth Suns, as you indicated, Sophie Kurzman. Double shots for them. They trail by 2. All they need to do is tie this set and they win. Pirates need to win the set to force a tie break for them to win.
Teddy's called metre and a half over. Does the jack, sit the bowl. She holds, she's all right. She's just going to duck, but she's probably going to back flop her own. Pretty good effort.
She does, and that's still 1 to Perth, doing what they have to do. I think Chrissy going for the tee. That's just gone through, so holding 1 at the moment at the crossover. Carl Healy strides down.
It's close. He's done it. Bowl and jack, what a shot.
He's just a marvel, Alex Marshall. That is as good as it gets. Carl Healy now has to respond. It's a Perth power play, so they need to win this end if they're any shot of winning this set.
Carl Healy, up and over. What a shot.
And
Great
that
response.
is the response, as you said. That is brilliant from Carl Healy. That's why he's a dual world champion.
Taddy with bigger weight.
This is close.
Oh,
Just going over. Carl Healy for his second. Well, the weather is picking up in
Yeah.
Moama, and the stakes are rising here. So 1 bowl each for Marshall and Healy. What has Taddy got? On his forehand.
3 seconds to spare. He's close.
I'll tell you
He's
what,
very, very close. Oh, good shot. Well played. I saw his eyes just looking at the clock 2 or 3 times.
used up every ounce that he needed, and well, he has secured shot apparently. It has done the job. We weren't quite sure, but our marker has raised 1 red paddle. So Carl Healy with a big bowl now.
Toucher for 2.
Maybe 3.
Perth Suns really need this.
And this won't do. Carl a little bit frustrated. We may just get a measure here. Just to double check.
Dorney's ready and grab the mat.
She knows. And that is 1 to the Moreton Bay Pirates. The power play is nullified. And it is a 4-1 lead to the Moreton Bay Pirates in the second set. They're one end away from possibly pushing this to a tiebreak. If the Suns can score a 3, they can still win and end it in 2 sets. But a masterclass from Alex Marshall has provided a little bit of a buffer. Christina Christic wants to hone in on the jack. What can she do? Good line. Both of them with a good line to start the final end of this second set. Won't be, as we think, the final end of the match, but we never know. Perth need a 3. Looking around the rinks, and the Sydney Lions took the first set 7-5 against the Melbourne Extreme. 2-all after 3 in the second. The Steamers and the Pulse. The Pulse took the opener 9-6. They lead 3-1 after 3 in the second. After losing the first set to Tasmania 2-5, the Ospreys lead 4-1 in the second set. That's after 4 ends, I believe. And then after 3 ends in the second, the Pioneers lead 8-1, 2-1 over the Gold Coast Hawks.
So Chrissy swapping hands. Carl says, touch it a foot and you make 2.
Sydney Lions have edged ahead 5-2 in the second set against the Melbourne Extreme. It's after 4 ends. There is a red jack down for the Extreme, I believe. And next door, Wayne Turley's got a power play. Holding 3, I believe, against Tasmania, looking to force that to a tiebreak.
Taddy on a really good track here. Very well played.
He just continues to wear his opponents down. He's been doing it for 30 plus years, Alex Marshall.
Yes. Now Carl's on his forehand, which is sort of what I suspected he'd play. If he finds the gap through the 2 front bowls of Dawns, then he's very close for the jack. Instead, he's going to punch that into a great spot.
That's a good home for Moreton Bay.
Yeah.
They'll take it. So,
Yeah, and Dawn says that too. Get one past the 2 oranges just in case, because that jack still is bare.
It's looking ever so likely that we are going to be going to a tiebreak here. Stranger things have happened before. I think an end has just been killed next door between Tasmania and Tweed, so that end will be replayed.
Big weight here from Carl. What's he got? 1, 2.
Healy.
Great shot.
Did he get the result required?
I think they're still 1 down, but
They
that's
are.
a much better setup for the Perth Suns.
Sure is. That is a brilliant finish. They require a 3 here.
Taddy falls jack high, so there is a big chance here for the Perth Suns. They can make the result that they need.
So Carl Healy, an opportunity here.
Timeout call for the Perth Suns to give him some extra time. I think he's going to be playing down that forehand. It's still 2 to the Moreton Bay Pirates, but any touch on that jack can make a 3. Knows what he's got to do. He's on the backhand though.
Carl Healy. Could he possibly finish it here? A little squeeze of the jack will do the trick.
Up on it.
It's not far away, but not the required result. And everybody comes back onto the rink. It is tiebreak time. Ends up being, I think, a 2 to Moreton Bay. Well, they're just going to measure here. If it is a 2, that'll, of course, double to 4. And that's exactly what the result is. So the second set, for scoreline purposes, the last 4 ends go the way of Moreton Bay. They win it 8-1 after going down 1-0. We're going to a breaker. Ellen Faulkner, she's won a toss. I believe that mat is going to the Perth Suns. Big smile on Ellen Faulkner's face.
Middle.
We're not going Jack Ditch.
No, not this time.
Damn.
I think they've learnt their experience after Dorney's unlucky shot this morning.
Damn, I wanted to see it.
Christina Christic, what a start.
Not bad at all. Dawn Heyman. Dawn Heyman.
Great starter.
That'll do the job. Advantage Moreton Bay. Christina Christic.
Just a little overcorrection on the weight, but
it's in a good spot.
Exactly.
At least, you know, the ones that are further back can be helpful.
Dawn just dropping a tad, so 1 to the Pirates. We'll see Blake's first bowl.
Blake Nan, can he get a little rub here? He does, but it's no avail. Just sort of slides it. Ryan Burnett with his first of the tie break.
Great shot there.
That's another one. So Moreton Bay with the ascendancy.
As expected, Carl's called lose your bowl through the head. What's he done?
Cleared
one out the way.
So his bowls are done. Ryan Burnett with 1 more to go. He says go to the tee. So the Melbourne Pulse, they've shaken hands against Moama, so they've got the job done in straight sets. It's a very impressive result. Surveying. What's Carl Healy going to do?
I think you've got to give it a chance on the forehand. Oh, he's got his backhand in place.
Unless he changes his mind.
No, backhand in place. Suppose a kill makes the tee.
Carl Healy. Well,
oh, and a result.
That is a fortunate one. He was in the area, but the way that he would have wanted to achieve it, but advantage to the Perth Suns once again. He's got one more to come. Alex Marshall with the first of his two. Is that enough? They're willing at home. Still one to Perth, so it's going to come down to Alex Marshall's last delivery. And that is going to get there.
Good shot.
It's a good shot, because it's going to make Alex Marshall have to work very hard. But how many times has he been in this situation before? Timeout called. So here we go. Alex Marshall with weight. He killed it. They had the tee, and Alex Marshall yet again delivers. That's why he's the greatest of all time.
Wow.
And it's why the Moreton Bay Pirates sit on top of the BPL19 ladder. What a sensational finish. The second time today he's won with the final bowl. Absolutely brilliant. What's happening here? Oh, did we nominate for a kill?
No, they were talking about the timing.
Yeah, they were talking about the timing. No, they did call for a timeout. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening there, but all good. But Sophie Kersman, thank you very much for being part of the Ringside Live family once again here.
Yes, I enjoy it every time.
BPL19. Good luck with your exam tomorrow. What subject is it?
Anatomy.
Anatomy. Oh, good fun.
Yeah,
that
heaps
sounds
of fun.
absolutely riveting, but brilliantly done by you. Thank you very much for being a part of the team. It's a Moreton Bay Pirates win. They get the job done over the Perth Suns, come from behind, they lose the first set, and they win it in a tie-break thanks to a piece of Alex Marshall. Brilliant. That's it from us today. We've got the 4 p.m. broadcast that starts in just under an hour and 45 minutes time, because it is going to be the Hawks and the Ospreys. They kick us off. Fox Sports, Sky Sports NZ and KO Sports in Australia. It's been Val Febo and Sophie Kersman. Big thank you to Lockie Williams for all the pictures today. He's been an absolute wonder as per usual. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 10:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be the Pioneers and the Steamers. But until then, bye for now.